Distinguished guests, industry leaders, academicians, innovators, my dear students, good morning. Let me congratulate first CII, the Southern Region, and VIT for hosting an amazing forward-looking conclave. But I don't necessarily agree with them. The vision set here is reimagining higher education for India's $5 trillion economy. We should be thinking about our $30 trillion economy. India is going to achieve 5 trillion. Whether the leaders who are sitting here do what they're supposed to do or not, we will achieve $5 trillion economy. The question is, how fast can we achieve the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's vision of India achieving its $30 trillion economy depends on the kind of reforms, collaboration, changes that we all do together here. Economic growth is not possible without intellectual and human capital being harnessed. You know, higher education is not merely a sector for me, it is a strategic pillar here in Andhra Pradesh. 54% of our population is under the age of 25, which makes us one of the youngest workforces. It is a greater asset, and yes, demographic dividend is here to be harnessed. But it also presents unique challenges. The challenges is in terms of our employability, in terms of our ability to adapt to the changes that the world is going through. You know, only 34% of India's working age population has received a formal training. This is compared to 96% in South Korea, 80% in Japan, and 75% in Germany. The recent economic survey stated that only 51% of our graduates are employable. 51%. There is a big mismatch of what we teach and what the market demands. To be fair, in our current higher educational institutions, we are not able to provide any gainful employment even after 3 to 4 years of formal training. Whilst youngsters go to Amirpet and within 4 to 6 months of training, they're able to find a job. So I truly believe that fundamental transformation, not correction, transformation is required in higher education. We must move from degree acquisition to skill activation. We can draw a lot of examples from across the world. Dr. Ashwini ji just mentioned about Stanford University and asked me to explain why Stanford has fostered innovation. And to be fair, it's a very old institution. It has built itself organically. But the most important thing is the ability of the institution to transform itself, to adapt to changes around itself. And when I went to Stanford, I was part of the old curriculum at the Graduate School of Business. I was literally the last batch of the old curriculum. And Brahmi, my wife, is also Stanford MBA. She was part of the new curriculum. And there's so much of sea change between the curriculum, the approach, that even universities have to start transforming themselves. Otherwise, they become irrelevant. Professor Ratnaji just mentioned about public universities. So that is my concern. Public universities also should transform themselves. They should be led by best in industry to drive changes. Only then will they also be relevant in higher education. You know, there is always a persistent gap between, academia and industry. A lot has been discussed today about it. But it's very, very important that we accelerate reforms. So APSHI, Vice Chair, is here. All the thought leaders are here in this room. What is important is pace, speed at which we bring in the change. We must accelerate reforms through dynamic curriculum updates, structured internships, mentor and career guidance ecosystem, and faculty immersion programs. You know, this is not merely a luxury, this is need of the hour, this is necessity for India. As all of you are aware, there has been a change in the government in the 16 months back. And the Honorable Chief Minister signed one of his first GO, which was skill census. And the idea was, how do you assess the citizens across various traits? And then what kind of skill intervention we should provide. As leaders have said, Mr. Naidu is a visionary. He always looks ahead of the time. And then he leaves execution to youngsters like me. We tried skill census in its traditional census format in my own constituency, Mangalgiri, and we failed miserably. We were unable to assess across the various traits that today people are gainfully employed. And that is where we have just launched an initiative called Naipunyam. And Naipunyam is not merely a supply-demand aggregator of jobs, but it is a platform to assess skills across any trait available. And that is where AI has really come to help us. So you're an AC mechanic or a two-wheeler mechanic,